Hi, I'm Stephen Jones again, trumpet professor from Western Michigan University in Kalamazoo, Michigan. One of the things I want to talk about a little bit is breathing on a brass instrument. First of all, most people tend to not take big enough breaths. And one way to help get more air into you is imagine that you're perhaps tipping over a little bit, sipping a milkshake. If you were slurping, let's say, the last 2 inches of a McDonald's milkshake all in one breath, you'd be going. That'll fill you up. Now, obviously, my chest is raised and my shoulders are raised, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as I don't start to blow that way. So before I blow, I want this to settle, and then I'll blow. And probably the best way to think of blowing is just the same way you would blow up a balloon. So if I take my breath like sipping a milkshake, and then imagine that I'm blowing a balloon. Notice that that pulls my chest down. The small of my back is forward. I feel my abdominal muscles blowing right from the middle of my stomach, the same way I would be blowing up a balloon. In order to get a really big breath, we've always taught people they should try to expand around the middle as much as possible. We've done some studies on this, and one of our findings is that the best way to get the big breath is to stretch the front of you vertically while you're breathing. Obviously, our spinal column can't stretch and contract. Our spine is of a finite length. But our torsos are like bellows in a blacksmith's shop. They're like an accordion. And so if I exhale fully from my navel up to my collarbone is not very far. But as I breathe, you can see how this area of my torso is stretched. And that's probably the most natural way to breathe that we have. This we see, of course, expanding outward. But to get as much air in as possible, we want to stretch this area of our body. You can't really stretch your back very much. So most of the breathing is done in the front. Now let me give one other idea here. Many trumpet players like to breathe by taking the breath at the corners of their lips. It seems like a nice fast way to get a breath. There's a problem though. It's an embouchure problem. When you have the mouthpiece pressure in the middle of your lip and you stretch the lip sideways in order to get the air in, it thins the middle of your upper lip out so that the mouthpiece pressure goes in deeper and deeper. And if you take 5 or 6 breaths in the middle of a solo or an etude, then you'll find yourself with the mouthpiece dug in deeper and deeper from taking those breaths at the corners of your lips. Instead, try opening your mouth vertically so that your mouth looks sort of like a fish's mouth. You can get plenty of air in while keeping your mouth narrow, and that's going to help preserve the cushion in your embouchure here and here.